Today we're putting together the VF curve of a Ryzen 9 9950X30 CPU. Hello and welcome to Checkpoint, a video series where I cover specific overclocking topics in a much shorter format. In today's Checkpoint, I want to show you how I build the Ryzen 9000 VF curves that I often use in my SkatterBencher overclocking guides. These VF curves are not only useful to visualize the impact of tuning with Curve Optimizer and Curve Shaper, but they also help me better analyze instability when tuning the processor. I will use the Ryzen 9 9950X3D as an example for this checkpoint. And the reason why I use this CPU is because it's a dual CCD processor. And each of the CCDs have very different characteristics because one CCD has the 3D V-Cache and the other one is probably the highest bit CCD that you can get in the Ryzen 9000 lineup. I hope by the end of this video, you understand the process I use to build these VF curves, and you can use that process to also build the VF curve of your CPU. All right, let's get started. If you've watched my videos before, I'm sure you're familiar with the term VF curve. But in case you aren't, very simply put, a VF curve describes the relationship between an operating frequency and the voltage that's required to operate at that frequency. Pretty much every modern SoC has a voltage frequency curve, though some are more advanced than others. AMD in particular uses a combination of lookup tables and adaptive clocking to match an operating frequency with a suitable operating voltage. The adaptive nature of AMD's clocking technology, marketed under the banner Precision Boost 2, makes it more difficult to get a grip on the CPU's VF curve. The simplest way for us to look at the VF curve is if AMD would provide this VF curve in the BIOS or through some software tools. Unfortunately, a CPU's VF curve is a closely guarded trade secret for many reasons. So we're left with the observation method to figure out what is our CPU's VF curve. AMD Precision Boost 2 is a technology that opportunistically increases the CPU performance based on the CPU temperature, current, and power headroom. Its magic is performed by the SMU, or System Management Unit. Each chip on a Ryzen CPU has an SMU, meaning there are 3 SMUs on a Ryzen 9000 CPU with 2 CCDs and 1 IOD. One of these SMUs will work as the master SMU, while the others will work as slave SMUs. The SMU has a range of capabilities, including, most importantly, the ability to manage the CPU performance within the so-called infrastructure constraints. The infrastructure restricts the maximum operating limits on various metrics, including power draw, temperature, and operating voltage. The point of explaining all this is to highlight that when we are trying to build our VF curve, we need to be aware of all the different ways that the SMU might be adjusting the frequency. The nature of the highly adaptive AMD Precision Boost 2 algorithm is that the CPU operating frequency bounces around all the time, rarely sitting at the same frequency for more than a couple of seconds. That makes it challenging to reliably derive the CPU's VF curve. Another roadblock is the voltage topology of a Ryzen desktop processor, as a single voltage plane powers the cores in both CCDs. That means the effective voltage is determined by the VF curves of each CCD, so it's not easy to isolate the curve of a specific CCD. Now that we understand the concept of the VF curve and we understand what Precision Boost does, let's get down to building our VF curve. And for that, I use 4 different tools. Shamino's Loop Fmax is a small tool that lets you automatically decrease the configured Precision Boost maximum allowed frequency, or Fmax, between +200 and -1000 every time interval. I typically use intervals of 10 seconds as it's a good trade-off between gathering sufficient data points and the duration of the data gathering. OCCT memory test is one of the stress tests available in the OCCT software package. It's designed to test system memory stability, but it's also a great tool for compiling the VF curve because it's a really light all-core workload. That means it doesn't heat up the processor or use too much power while having all cores running at the maximum allowed frequency. Hardware Info is my preferred tool for system telemetry as it offers a simple way to log the data. The data captured by hardware info is the foundation for eventually building the VF curves. Microsoft Excel is a tool everyone knows and needs no introduction. I'll use this to clean up the data and build the charts. Gathering the VF curve data for a single CCD Ryzen 9000 CPU is actually pretty straightforward. However, it gets a little bit more complicated with multi-CCD CPUs, like the Ryzen 9 9950X3D. And that's because even though we have two CCDs, they share a single voltage rail that powers all the cores. So for our purpose, we want to isolate the VF curve of the first CCD from the VF curve of the second CCD. And in order to do that, we first have to go into the BIOS and disable the cores in one CCD or the other CCD. In the BIOS, go to the Advanced menu and enter the AMD Overclocking submenu. Here, go into the Manual CPU Overclocking CPU Core Count Control submenu. If we want to only enable the 3D V-Cache CCD, we can go into the CCD01 bitmap down core control submenu and modify all values to 0. Then, make sure to access bitmap down core apply changes to save the configuration. Now we can go into the operating system and start capturing our data. Here's what to pay attention to. First, set the all-CCD memory test to 10% and SSE instruction set to keep the load as low as possible. Use hardware info to check all cores are loaded before we start the logging process, as that will keep the data cleaner. Set the start Fmax to the default Fmax plus 200 and the end Fmax to the default Fmax minus 1000, and then use a reasonable interval period of 10 seconds. Once all cores are loaded properly, you can start the hardware info logging process and start the loop Fmax. Now, it's just a matter of waiting until the CPU has cycled through all Fmax steps. Next, let's open Excel and start processing the data. Here's what we want to do. First, we want to isolate the voltage and frequency data. Since I'm building a general VF curve for the entire CCD, I will treat all data from each CPU core equally. So I use the Excel VStack function to put all VID and core clock data in a long column. Next, we need to compile the VF points. For this, I use a pivot table where each frequency point is mapped to an average voltage. Averaging out the voltage helps smooth out the VF curve, which makes it easier to visualize and compare. As a final step, you might want to clean up some of the outlier data. Now you should have a VF table for each CCD matching a core clock with its operating voltage. All that is left is to put this into a nice looking graph. Putting together the graph is elementary Excel work, so I won't go too deep into the process. The only thing I want to mention is that I'm usually not making charts based on the pivot tables, but build them manually because it's easier to add other VF curves as well. Hopefully this guide can help you build the VF curve of your Ryzen 9000 CPU. Of course, there's a bunch of other things that we could still do. For example, you could compile the VF curve for each core independently by enabling just a single core from the BIOS. Or you could compile the VF curve with a different application to compare the VF range in higher, more demanding workloads. These are things that I also have on my to-do list, and I may get around trying them out in the near future. Anyway, that's it for this checkpoint. Let me know if you have any ideas in the comments below, and see you next time.